What is up, all my chosen ones? Jazz Roy is back now, guys. Speechless is an understatement as I record this video because here's a quick breakdown. I've spent my entire day in the Volt voice chat listening to Power, Pablo, and Ozzy. Shout out to those guys. They are legends of this space, at least in my book, and they put us up on so much game with just what's happening with Volt already and what's to come this month alone, and even stretching into the first few months of the new year. And we got a lot to get into, so listen tight, put that seatbelt on, and hang on, guys, because we are gonna go crazy on this one. Now, before I begin, guys, please do me a favor and smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome, guys. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell for me, please, and thank you. Guys, here we are. Volt had a sell-off, right? And a lot of people got scared. A lot of people got caught up in those emotions of uncertainty and chose the easy way out. And all I can say before we even get into the premise of this video is that they made a big mistake. I didn't want to be that guy to say it out loud, but I gotta just come out and say it. From what I've heard in these last couple of hours, they made a big mistake, and I'm gonna go and share with you guys on why, but I'm not gonna try and say too much. Let's get into this. First off, Voltoshi started off the day with a bomb drop. Yes, guys, another message for us to decode. So we're gonna go over this, and then I'm gonna break down why this message in particular is probably the biggest deal of news that we have received thus far for the Volt army. So he starts out with saying, you know, it's gonna volt when the week starts like this. Now, this is what it says. As the saying goes, good things take time, but it seems that today some people decided it was time. If you don't know what he's talking about, guys, he's talking about the Jeets that dropped down over here, and we're gonna talk about those particular Jeets because it's gonna blow your mind too. Now, yes, we got some people leaving over the last few days. He's not blind, but rather than looking at where they went, where did they come from, he was looking at some other top project holders. Now, what he saw, listen carefully, guys, was Binance, Crow, OKX, Qcoin, Coinbase, Huobi, Polynex, Bybit, Kraken, and more. Holding, diamond hand, and hodling from 3 to 10% of their supply. And then he looked at the Volt army, especially with the Uniswap pool only holding what looks to be, I believe that says less than 2% of the supply. So what does this tell us? This is how he sums it up. All he's seeing is that just one of these names joining the party might create a voltage supply shock. And guess what? The majority of the above names of these top tier exchanges that we just named up here are already watching Volt, to say the least. That's right, guys. The eyes that I've been talking about saying I can't wait till those eyes are on us seem to have already been on us longer than I myself have even realized, and I wouldn't have known if I wasn't in the voice chat from today. To be completely honest with you, in Voltoshi's words, he's gonna tell you how volted his Monday was. One of the above names, one of the top tier 1 exchanges up here, told him this morning that they are ready to volt. What I took from that is that they officially got the green light for that first of the various tier 1 exchange announcements that we are in line to hear. And he says if you don't get it yet, you might understand it with the volted emergency. Guys, remember, Pablo said when it's time to announce that tier 1, it's going to be an emergency live stream. There's no schedule for it. It's when they give the green light, it's on site. By Voltoshi, not financial advice, guys. Let's go break down some of the things that we just read over here. And we're going to go get into why this is going to have a huge impact on the chart that we're looking at right now, and especially on our market cap. Okay, so here's the biggest mind blow that we found out. Okay, number 1, the supply from the tier 1s. The amount of supply that they're going to be holding when they buy Volts for listing us is going to create such an impact on our floor that can easily have us sitting in the early billions just as our floor. How? Because around 3% of the supply, which was being calculated, I remember Power was doing the calculations. If I heard this correctly, I might have been wrong about the percentage, but that alone was equal to a minimum of $2.5 million, right? Now, to put into perspective, Gate.io has been playing a major role at why we have been maintaining such a strong floor in comparison to the floor that we originally had prior to the fall season. Now, what that is that Gate.io has in fact been increasing their position on Volt. Yes, guys, while everything has been crashing, while everyone has been scared, growing impatient because they just can't wait any longer for the tier 1 announcement, they've been selling and leaving, and Gate has been buying. As a matter of fact, the wallet was tracked down on how Gate has been buying their Volt. And from when they first started, it was roughly $150,000 worth of Volt that they bought. And to show you guys a little backtrack into history, we're going to go zoom out and we're going to go track where that Gate.io pump was. It was in September. I believe this was the Gate.io pump right here. Right now, that was just Gate.io. Now, Gate.io only bought 6 figures, okay? That's way less than the 3 to 10% of the supply that we're seeing Voltoshi mention. Now, that alone, that 150K that they bought of Volt from right over here is now sitting at over $400,000 around there. Meaning that while everyone has been selling out of fear, Gate.io, top tier exchange, institution money, has been not just adding to their bag, but they have in fact nearly doubled their entire bag, or more than doubled their entire bag, right around there. Throughout all of this pandemonium, why would a top tier exchange be witnessing, perhaps even being a part of, the manipulation that we have been seeing? Because yes, guys, this is all manipulation from the big money. All right, the retail bags won't cause a significant amount of damage to see it go down like this and then to bounce right back. We are going to get into what this means for the other exchanges. So long story short, Gate.io seems to have been understanding what Volt is doing and what the potential is. And if we're being honest, those top exchanges are usually the first ones to know when the other top tier exchanges are going to list another project before us, the public, knows. Now, what may be going on is that Gate.io, and well, actually it's not what may be, they actually confirmed that is that, in fact, that wallet that's been doing this has been selling in increments, kind of fooling people, the Jeets, if you will, to sell off because thinking that the product's going downhill. Now, they've been doing that knowing that they're going to get the price low enough to where they feel they can get a great bargain on this project and buying back in. But they're doing it smart. They're not just dumping a bunch of money at one shot like that. They're doing it in increments so they could blend in like one of the many investors that you see within the green walls. Now, this is smart because not even I knew this. You know, I just thought that it was just people just selling one after another for just following each other. And that was happening, but that wasn't the cause of what makes the chart go down to this level, which, by the way, we're still sitting into the 5-0 range. You know, despite how much sell-off we saw, we're still sitting into the 5-0. So let's just keep that in mind throughout the whole time in this video as you're watching. Sitting at a 77 million market cap. So why else would Gate.io be trying to do that unless they already knew behind the scenes which exchanges are about to list Volt, how much money is probably going to be dropped into Volt in order to do that, and what that is going to do, not just for the initial price pump, but even for when people sell off, because yes, another sell-off will happen. That's just how this game goes. But where the floor will be sitting at will still be a significant increase in their money from where they're sitting at right now in present time. They're not going to do that and double their bag while people are selling unless they are the ones behind the selling that's happening, because they know the buying that's about to occur and they had to get themselves positioned in the best possible price point they can get. They had to do it smart enough where it'll go low enough to shake off the weak ones, but not too much enough where it looks a little obvious, which, well, the guys behind the scenes, the team, the Volt Army, was still smart enough to catch. But hey, this is big news. I'm still mind blown by that fact, because now when you see the other top tier exchanges, right, and they're going to be hodling from 3 to 10% of their supply. Now, that means we're talking millions of dollars coming into Volt. Millions of dollars coming into Volt and being diamond handed. Why? Because that's the institution money. They are the exchanges. They are the ones that hold that line and that floor to keep us from falling even crazier. Why? Because they don't want to fall either. They understand what type of gem this is. They buy a few $1,000,000 of Vault from this price point. What do you think is going to happen? Maybe not even the bull run, even before the bull run, that relief pump that I personally see coming, at least for Vault, even if Vault might be in the position to start the next bull run. Who knows, right? But that's what it's probably looking towards. That couple million will be worth probably billions of dollars. Even Gate.io doubling their bag to be roughly around $500,000 or so. I think it's more than $500,000 now that I'm thinking about it. That alone is going to put them in that 8 to 9 figure bracket. That's going to do a significant bump for the whole exchange. And then it clicked to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the money that we're waiting on. Those are the eyes that I've been saying over and over again. When they start looking at us, that's when things are really going to start taking off to those unprecedented numbers that people thought were unprecedented, of 50 billion market cap, 60, 70 billion. No, that's how you get there. That's how Shiba got there. This is insane. Everything is officially about to take off on us. There's no telling exactly when, but well, this month alone, I mean, we already got a green light. One of the exchanges already confirmed that they are ready to be vaulted. And the other ones are already being lined up behind the scene. We just don't know which ones in order, but we do know that we're going to be on those exchanges. It's just a matter of when, and can you hold off long enough to see it come to pass? Because that's the name of this game, at least with Volt. The name of the game with Volt is to simply hold. It's all a mind game. The big money is going to be playing with your mind, because if they play with your mind and win and you sell off and get the price low to where they want it to be, they could increase their bags at a discount and have even bigger money always remaining at the top, while the bottom continues to remain at the bottom. Big things going on behind the scenes with Volt. And we are going to continue monitoring this like a hawk. Don't be fooled by the price, guys, because now you know what's going on. Let's see what happens, especially on the 1 year anniversary for Volt, which is just less than a few weeks away, 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away. Let's see how this goes, guys. With that being said, folks, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'm Jazz Royce, and like I always say, I'm going to catch each and every one of you guys at the top.